What are you most excited about for fall/holiday seasons? Does your YouTube channel pay for your travel now that you have more followers/subscribers? Honeymoon plans, honeymoon updates, give us all the details. What is going on? Any other vacations or trips that you have coming up this year? How do you deal with rude comments on YouTube? Do you struggle with self-image and insecurity, especially being in this space? Well, hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Brianna and welcome to my favorite video in the entire world to film, and that is the monthly coffee chat. So welcome to our monthly little coffee chat together. If you are new within the last few months, I have not done one of these videos in a very long time, but the rundown of this video is basically, imagine we're just sitting together, we're chatting, we're hanging out, and we're on FaceTime. So every month I ask over on my Instagram, I put up a little question box of just topics, questions, things that you guys want to know and chat about in my life, or advice, or literally anything under the sun. Like I said, imagine you are just on FaceTime with a friend and we're just gonna sit and yap. You can keep this on in the background while you're getting some work done. It is currently 5:30 post-work right now, and so we're filming a little bit of a post-work coffee chat. I have a vitamin water today. I originally had a Diet Coke because I tried to film this video on my lunch break, and honestly, I just wasn't really a fan. I feel like I was stumbling over my words because I haven't done a coffee chat in a while. So deleted all of that footage and decided, you know what, we're gonna pick this up after work when the workday is over and I can just sit and yap. Corey's making dinner in the other room and I can just yap with my girls for as long as I feel like I want to. Also, what was my mouth just doing there? See what I mean? Fumbling over my words. However, welcome to a new fun installment of the monthly coffee chat. I just didn't get to do one of these for the last few months, and so I'm really excited for today's monthly coffee chat. You guys asked a ton of questions over on my Instagram, which first and foremost, thank you, because without you asking any questions or anything in general, I would never be able to do these monthly coffee chats. There was probably like 65, maybe 70 questions, not all different, just in total. And so I took out some common themes, ones that I really loved, and wrote them in my notes app. And those are the questions that we are gonna answer and go through today. So if I don't get to your question today or your topic kind of chatting thing today, don't worry, because like I said, I love to do a monthly coffee chat every single month. So keep asking it, send me a DM on Instagram, and we can always just chit chat or throw it down below in the comments. So without further ado, let's get into this month's coffee chat. Now we have, I think, about 20-ish questions to go through just from this section alone, and they're all different. I'm really excited for them. However, the main question that I got in my box on Instagram and just to chat about, give more details on, was honeymoon plans, honeymoon updates, give us all the details, what is going on. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you will know that Corey and I announced our honeymoon plans, and we are actually heading on the Disney Treasure, and we are doing a Disney cruise for our honeymoon, and we are so unbelievably excited. We're not sharing when we're getting on the Disney Treasure, but I can tell you that we are getting on the Treasure in the next month and a half to 2.5 months. So within the next like 8 to 12-ish, am I even doing math right? Like 8 to 10 weeks we'll be on the Disney Treasure, and I am so unbelievably excited. And if you've been here for a while, and you've been here since last year when we were planning our wedding and talking about honeymoon destinations, we originally were going to Greece. That was the original plan, and there were a lot of questions on, weren't you supposed to go to Greece? Like, I'm a little bit confused, like what's going on? So basically, to make a short story long, because we all know that I have no idea how to make a long story short because all I do is yap around here. The original plan was to go to Greece, and when we went to book all of our Greece trip in January, February of 2025, like of this year, for this upcoming like end of summer, early fall time, there were a lot of earthquakes going on in Greece, specifically the island of Santorini, which is where we wanted to spend a week of our honeymoon. And ultimately what we came to the decision was, and what we kind of talked about back and forth, was we had been saving for about 1.5 to 2 years for this honeymoon, and we didn't want to go to Greece and have our experience compromised by the earthquakes. People at the time were evacuating the islands. We were really worried. We were nervous about Airbnbs and hotels and the foundation of the island shifting, and we didn't know within the 6 to 9 months after we booked when we would go if everything would be A, up to code, good and safe to be able to go. Like, we realistically just had no idea what the world was gonna bring and how everything was gonna play out. So we decided that we did not want to go to Greece, and we will tack that on or do that in another stage of our life. And instead, we loved our mini moon that we went on when we went on the Disney Wish in September of 2024. Now, I say mini moon, it's basically just another excuse to be able to travel and just tack on another name. However, we absolutely loved going on a Disney cruise. We loved cruising. It was our first one, and really everything about it was exactly what we loved in a trip and a vacation, because it felt like the perfect mix of both. And so ultimately we decided that the Disney Treasure was going to be what we wanted to do for our honeymoon, plus about 3-ish, 4-ish days in Disney World after. So those are the honeymoon plans and updates. We are headed on the Disney Treasure and we are so excited. And then there are 3 other questions that kind of came along with just honeymoon and the Disney Treasure, so I'm going to answer those now. The first one is, are you going to vlog your honeymoon / the cruise? And the answer is yes / maybe. So yes, we will 100% be vlogging our travel day and our entire Disney Treasure trip. We're so excited. The whole reason I started on YouTube was A, to share my life, but also to document our travels and be able to look back on them like home movies. So we will absolutely be vlogging the treasure portion. I say maybe because we are going to Disney World for about 3 to 4 days after we get off the treasure, and we're still deciding if we want to vlog that portion of the trip. Knowing me and Corey and how much vlogging has just become honestly a part of our trips and just a part of everything that we do, and just loving to document our travels and adventures, we will probably end up vlogging. We don't know if we'll do individual day vlogs or a big like Disney World, 3 or 4 days vlogs, just so we can relax a little bit more. So yes, we are planning to vlog the entire treasure portion, and then maybe / one big vlog for the Disney World portion. Next is, why did you guys pick the treasure for your honeymoon? We did get a few questions on, why didn't you go to Europe for your honeymoon on a cruise, or like, why did you pick the treasure? So the 2 things that we knew we wanted was A, selfishly, it's our honeymoon and we wanted to get on the newest boat that we could. That was the same way that we felt when we went on the Wish for our mini moon. So the Treasure, A, was the newest boat, and it's in the same class as the Wish, and we loved the ship. Again, it was our first cruise, so we know nothing different, but we absolutely loved it, and we are so unbelievably excited to get back on another cruise, specifically the Treasure. And then in addition, 2 things. We looked at a European cruise and thought, yes, maybe. However, what we ultimately came to the conclusion of was we wanted to make the most of the time that we had, and we didn't want to do a big travel day there and adjust to the jet lag and then a big travel day home. And we were just really excited to go to more islands versus going to mainland Europe. We've done a lot of mainland Europe ourselves when we've traveled over the last few years. And so the Treasure just felt like the perfect option. Disney's newest boat. We are going to a lot of the fun islands and going to, I don't know if it's Eastern or Western Caribbean. It's like one of, or wherever it is, I don't exactly remember, but either way, it's in the Caribbean. We're going to the islands. We've got some fun excursions, and we are just so excited. But that is what made us want to pick the Treasure. And then the last one for the honeymoon and just Disney cruise questions in general is, what are you most excited about for going on the Disney Treasure? I will give you 3 because I can never give just one. The first thing I'm the most excited for is definitely just a longer cruise. When we went on the Wish, we only traveled on the Wish for, it was 4 nights. This is a 7-night sailing, so I'm most excited for the length of the cruise. The second thing I'm really excited for is we have a reservation at Palo's Steakhouse on the Disney Treasure. So if you've ever been to Palo's Steakhouse before, comment down below your recommendations, things that you loved about it. I am just really, really excited to be able to try a new dining reservation. And then I would say the third thing that I'm most excited for is one particular excursion, which I will share, which is we are parasailing on Castaway Cay, which to me is so exciting because we get to see the Treasure basically from the sky and all of Castaway Cay, and I've never parasailed, so it's going to be a really fun and exciting experience. So those are the things that I am the most looking forward to on the Treasure. And yes, we are going on the Disney Treasure for our honeymoon. It's 7 nights, going to Disney for a few days after, and we are so excited, and I hope that you guys are really excited for the vlog. So if this is you not having an Instagram and us announcing it for the first time, we are headed on the Disney Treasure for our honeymoon, and we are so excited. So now we're gonna pivot into a little bit more of like standard coffee chat. I don't really chat too much Disney stuff. This is more just chatting about everyday life, advice, and kind of just fun questions in that nature. So the first one that we're gonna talk about today is, how are you making sure that you aren't living for the weekend? And this is something that I feel like has been definitely some buzzwords on social media about living for the weekend or saving things for the weekend. And I think the 2 things that I think about that really really help me and Corey, and especially myself, not live for the weekend is we always pick 1 or 2 nights a week where we are doing something fun after work. Could be a heavy lift or it could be a light lift. So for example, this week alone, today is Wednesday. Last night we actually went to the movies on, I think it's like $5 or $6 Tuesday, and Corey, my mom, and I saw Freakier Friday. So that was super fun that we got to see that movie last night. And then tonight, Corey and I are gonna do a little bit of a board game night where we do a no electronics night. We put our phones away, we play board games, we play Rummy Cube or Ticket to Ride, Catan, Phase 10, Gin Rummy, Rummy 5, any kind of card game, board game together. And we just spend some quality time together. And I think something that is important to me when I think about making sure that I am not living for the weekend is it can be really small, light lifts that you do during the week that make you not live for the weekend, right? So it could be going out for ice cream or going to a movie, or maybe it's going for a really nice walk and treating yourself to a Starbucks refresher or a smoothie, or even if it's like on a Wednesday night going out for, you know, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, you know, Chili's, whatever you have near you. Just, I think picking 1 to 2 nights a week where it's either a light lift and maybe it's at home or you're going out and about. I think we forget that we have so much life to live during the weekdays that thinking about, okay, what are my 2 days this week? What are my 2 activities? What can I look forward to? And I think it's okay if one of those days might be Friday, but those are definitely some ways that I make sure that I'm not living for the weekend, and I bring some of those fun like weekend activities into our regular weekday life. And especially getting ice cream in the summer, we go out for ice cream at least once a week during the work week because that's like the one thing that I get so excited for. The next question is, what are you most excited about for fall/holiday seasons? Let me tell you, I am defrosting. I am the best version of myself in the burr months. September, October, November, and December. That is when Brianna is at her absolute max joy, happiness, peak of everything. Those are my months. I'm a big fall girl. Fall is my all-time favorite season. Summer is a close second, but fall is my all-time favorite season. And so September and October are the best weather of the entire year because it's fall weather. November is my birthday and Thanksgiving, which is my second favorite holiday of the year. And then Christmas. I am Christmas to my core. If you cut me open, I would literally spew out Christmas and Santa Claus and wreaths and Christmas lights and trinkets and just everything that is Christmas. I love to my core. It is like where I feel the most happy and just at so much joy. So what am I most excited about for the seasons? I'll give you 2 for each. 2 things I'm looking forward to for the fall is A, the food. I love cozy, home-cooked, warm meals, things like a short rib or my homemade shepherd's pie that I make almost every single Sunday, chicken soup, that kind of stuff I am so excited for. And then secondly is just a football slow Sunday. I feel like in the summer I almost feel guilty when I'm not outside enjoying the fresh air, but in the fall there is nothing better than cozying up on the couch on a Sunday with a little sheet nacho for lunch, and we're watching the game together, and then I take a little nap on the couch. I make shepherd's pie for dinner. We watch a little movie at night. Like, I'm just so excited for a slow, enjoyable, relaxing fall. Like, that is what I'm so excited for. And then when I think about the Christmas season, the 2 things that I absolutely love the most is Christmas lights. Corey and I love to go and drive through Bright Lights, which is in Springfield, Mass, which is about 35-ish minutes from us. And it's basically like a drive-through little Christmas lights activity, and we love to get to do that. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And then I would just say number 2, actually I think I have 3. The second one is every year we love to decorate our travel tree. So when we travel internationally, domestically, go on vacation, we always have an ornament that we buy on our trips. So getting to decorate that tree and talk about our favorite memories is definitely something I look forward to. And then I think just like quality time with family during the holidays, it's just a really magical, joyous time where I feel like you really get to connect with your inner child and watch Christmas movies, and you put out cookies for Santa Claus, and just all the fun things I feel like that come with that season is so enjoyable. So those are definitely the things that I'm most looking forward to during the holiday season. Next question is, how do you deal with change, currently going through life changes and feeling a little lost? Honestly, as a child, I did not like change. I had a really hard time navigating change. It was just something that I did not thrive in. For example, speaking of the holidays, my grandparents used to host Christmas Eve, and when they got too old to host it, my aunt took it, and I remember them telling me that it was not going to be at my grandparents anymore, and I freaked out. I was like, this is not traditional. This is not what it is. Like, change is not good. We should be staying at my Nani and Papa's house for Christmas. I don't know why we're doing this. And so I struggle actually a lot with change, and the reason that I believe that I struggle with change, and I'm always very honest on my channel here, and you'll always find me as your big sister with very like directness, is that I'm a control freak. So when I can't control the change and it was not my doing, I really struggle with change. It's really hard for me. Whereas when I am the one making the change or creating change, I am much more easily adaptable, and it's easier for me because I'm the one that's making it. So in terms of navigating change that I can't control, one thing that I think is so important is keeping 2 to 3 things every day that is a part of your routine that's not going to change. So for example, let's say you're navigating moving to a new town, or you're moving to a new city, or you're moving in with a significant other, or you've started a new job. Maybe your morning routine is every morning you wake up, you wash your face, and you make a cup of coffee. Even if it means waking up 30 minutes earlier to be able to have that, keeping a little bit of your routine that you're in control of, I promise you will help you feel like you are in more control and that you are not as lost. I think dealing with a lot of change can be challenging, but finding those moments of routine, finding those moments of comfort, of solace, of peace, I think is really important when you're trying to navigate change. That would be how I deal with change, is trying to stay connected to the things that I can control and that make me feel better about change that's going on around me. Because again, I'm a control freak, so I like to have as much control of things as I possibly can. The next question is, do you struggle with self-image and insecurity, especially being in this space? The short answer is 100% yes. I think anybody in this creator space and putting yourself out online can be really challenging. I might have a long answer to this question because I view it in a lot of different ways. The first thing is just, I think, insecurity, self-image, and just the internet in general. I think when you post online and you open up your life online, you open up your heart online, and you share online, this may be a hot take, but you open up yourself to scrutiny and rude comments and people being entitled to have an opinion on your life. And to an extent, I actually kind of agree. And maybe that's a hot take, and maybe I'm gonna, you're all not gonna agree with me, and I think that's okay. But I think when you open up your life online, you're showing yourself to the world, and that can come with some negatives, and I think that's okay. That's a part of it. Granted, I don't think anybody should be rude or mean to you because you've decided to share your life online. You just have to know and be aware that that's a part of the territory, right? It's a part of creating and sharing your life online, and you have to be able to brush it off. There's so much that comes with this like level of insecurity to online, and my insecurity and my, self-image and the insecurity that I have comes from how are people going to view me in this way, and are people going to interpret my message differently than the way that my heart is intending. I would say that is more so where my insecurity or my self-doubt or my self-image and the way that I come across online makes me nervous. I always want to come off like authentically myself, and I think sometimes it's difficult. Like, you never know how someone's going to interpret your message. So to make a short story long, yes, I do struggle with that sometimes. However, I think it's a part of the territory, and as I've grown on social media and become more comfortable just sharing my life and building this beautiful community that we have here, you all have allowed me to be authentically myself. And so where I am at times, I can be insecure. I know that you guys always have my back, which I think is the beautiful part of this community, is I don't feel it often because of all of you welcoming me with open arms. So long story short, or short story long, that's kind of my thought on that. The next question is, any other vacations or trips that you have coming up this year? So we do not have any other Disney trips or any other vacations planned throughout the year. That is like Scout's honor. I have nothing. That's not a lie. I promise you. We just have our honeymoon on the Disney Treasure, and that is it. The only additional thing that we are currently in the works of planning is a New York City Christmas weekend. Corey and I have been saying that we have wanted to go to New York City for a weekend during Christmas for the last last 8 years that we have been together, and this year we are making it happen because we don't have any other plans. So that is the only plan that we are currently working on vacation-wise for the rest of the year, and I am definitely very excited for that because we've been wanting to do it for so long. Will I vlog it? Yes, because I want to be able to look back on that memory. Next question is, how do you deal with rude comments on YouTube? Let me tell you, they are there, and as much as you all might think they are not, they are definitely there. For example, I got a comment on my Magic Kingdom vlog, which I took 7.5 hours to edit. It was my most prized vlog I've ever done. It was the most magical, joyous vlog I think to date that I've ever done. I poured my heart and soul into that vlog. I don't know, just something about it was so magical to me, and I got a comment on it about a week and a half ago that said, wow, this video was so annoying. So yes, I in fact get rude comments all the time. I get comments telling me to slow down, take a breath, you're gonna pass out because you can't stop talking, you always interrupt your husband, I can't believe that your husband is even married to you because you're so annoying, you know, all these things. Like, there are rude comments that come with social media, and again, like I said before, might be a hot take, it's a part of the territory. When you show your life online, you are opening the world, not to be, you know, a jerk and like absurd. I think people that leave rude comments on videos just, like, to me, I'm like, get another hobby and go touch grass, because I would never comment something rude on social media. Why? Because there's so many other things I could be doing with my spare time. That's my own like hot random take. However, how I deal with the rude comments is I either A, don't respond because I think it's not worth it. And the second thing I'll do is, honestly, I've started deleting them from the videos and from the comment section. And I had so many creator friends just tell me, like, don't feed into it, don't feed into it, just delete it, don't even worry about it. And honestly, I am just fully embracing that. Like, I think I don't want to pour into any negativity because it's not worth it. And like, the rude comments, they will always come, and at the end of the day, they can sometimes be few and far between. Sometimes they're not few and far between. It really just depends. I think every time I post a video, I get nervous, like, oh, someone's gonna have something to say about me saying it that way. But you know what, at the end of the day, I'm just gonna be authentically me, and if the rude comments keep flying in, let them. And I think, you know, I haven't read the book yet, but I would love to. The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. That is how I deal with things. Like, if people wanna say that my video is annoying, let them. If people want to tell me that I talk too fast or I talk too much, let them. If people want to tell me that they think that I should never be married to my husband and he can do better because all I do is talk over him, let them. At the end of the day, I love sharing my life online. The other 99% of my community welcomes me with open arms and loves me to my core, to who I am as a human, and knows that about me. And there's been times where you guys have literally come to my rescue against some of those mean comments, and I appreciate that. So how I deal with it is I just let people. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal, and like, it is what it is. They're not my favorite comments to have to deal with, but ultimately I just try to let them roll off my back, and I just keep it pushing because I have a beautiful community here that loves me to my core for who I am, and I love all of you to your core for who you are, and you welcoming me into your home authentically, my crazy chaotic self, my blunt, very direct self. And so I love that. And if you know what, people don't like that, that's totally fine. The last thing that I think about when it comes to these rude comments, you could be the most delicious chocolate bar. You could be pure, delicious chocolate. You could be absolutely incredible, perfect down to every little minute thing and every little detail. And there will always be somebody in the world that doesn't like chocolate. No matter how perfect, no matter how incredible or decadent, delicious, nice, whatever could be, there will always be somebody out there that just doesn't like chocolate, and that's okay. You're not everybody's cup of tea, and you're not going to be, and that's how I kind of let some of those rude comments just roll off my back, because I'm not for everybody, and that is okay. The people that I am for love me for me, and I love you guys for you guys, and that's how I deal with rude comments on social media. Next question is, do you see yourself and Corey finding a house in 2026, or is there no rush? So if any of you are new here, my husband and I lived in Boston for 4.5 years, and then in January of 2023, we relocated back to Connecticut and moved in with my parents to save money to pay for our wedding, buy a new car, and save up for our first ever forever home. And we are still in the process of just enjoying where we are in life. And so when it comes to, do we see ourselves buying in 2026? full transparency, that's the goal. I think we are ready to buy our house. We're ready to be on our own and start the next chapter of our lives together. With that being said though, we are not in a rush if it means we have to settle. So in 2026, we would love to buy a house, whether that means January, February, May, December, November, whenever it is. I think we're not putting a timeline on it because there are certain things that we really want in a house that we have saved up a lot of money for, that we just don't want to settle or compromise on things if we don't have to. And we have been meticulously socking away every free dollar for the last 3.5 years to put down a big down payment and be able to have a house that we can expand our family in. And so we are in no rush. However, we would love to buy in 2026. And then the next question, still on like the home trend, which was home must-haves or things you want in your future home. Corey and I want, for the most part, same things, but we do have a different top 3. I always think about if we had to buy a house that had to have 3 things and everything else was just a luxury, what would be the 3 things that are the most important to you? To me, the 3 things that are the most important to me is a big kitchen / hosting space. We love to host. We love having people over. We love gathering our families together and cooking. So a big and bright open kitchen is definitely number 1. Number 2 is closet space. I feel like Corey and I have accumulated a lot in our lives. We have a lot of crap and a lot of shit, okay? We're just like hoarders by nature. And I say Corey, but I actually just mean me. And so I definitely want a lot of space, and closet space in a house is important to me. And then the third thing that is most important to me is at least 2 bathrooms. Now, I've got stomach problems. It's nice to be able to have 2 bathrooms. And so 2 bathrooms is definitely a big one for me on my home must-haves. A few things that are Corey's must-haves that he's really passionate about is a 2-car garage. He wants to be able to have both of our cars in a garage. We're from New England. The weather is very unpredictable in the winter and it gets very chilly and snowy and rainy and sleety. And so he wants our cars to be able to be in the garage. And then the other thing that Corey also says is a non-negotiable for him is anywhere from 3 to 4 bedrooms. Really important because we love to have family over. We want to expand our family and we just want to be able to have space to be able to fit people. So those are some of our home must-haves. The next question is just, how are you doing? And when you guys just ask how I'm doing, it really just brings me so much joy. And to get on my soapbox for a minute, like, this truly feels like a group of my best friends. And I feel like as somebody who has a little bit of a smaller circle where I feel like I've made a lot of incredible friends from social media, they all live pretty far away. And so you guys are my friends on a day-to-day basis, that when you ask me how I'm doing, it just makes me feel like we're all connected in just more of a like tight way. And so how I'm doing, I am doing really great. And I'm honestly happy and proud to say it. I feel like we had a really beautiful summer. We came back from 2 amazing Disney trips, which I'm really excited and happy for. I also had a really good few weeks at work when I was in the office for a full week, and I presented out really well and got some really good positive accolades from other directors in my professional career, which I always keep separate from work, but I'm just really proud of that. And we're entering fall, which is my favorite season, and we have our honeymoon coming up. So to be honest, you guys, I am doing so well. And I feel like sometimes it can feel a little bit, it's like not nerve-wracking, but like I think people want the realism online, but they also don't want people to just feel like they're doing well all the time. So sometimes I'm like, okay, should I be nervous saying I'm doing well? Should I be nervous when I'm not doing well? So either way, right now I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling great. I'm in a beautiful season of life and feeling just really grateful and really fortunate. So how I'm doing is I'm doing well. And honestly, I'm proud to say it, and I'm very, very glad that I'm doing well. Next question is, do you like where you are in your career right now? I feel like this is such a great question because I often don't talk about my career online, and I do plan to keep them very separate. However, if you're new around here, I do work a full 9-to-5 job. I've been with my company now for 7 years. I'm in a sales role, elevated sales role, and I love my career. Honestly, I love what I get to do every day. I work with some of the most innovative, kind, passionate, just incredible humans every single day. And my job is to make other people better. And I feel like that is the best part about my job. And I feel like I'm in a really good place in my career right now where I love the role that I'm in. I'm not looking to progress any higher in the corporate ladder. Like realistically, I'm just enjoying the season of my career that I'm in and focused on doing my job just really, really well. So yes, I actually really do love where I'm at in my career right now. I think if you asked me 4 years ago what I wanted out of my life, I wanted to climb the corporate ladder and make all this money and be a girl boss, and I still want to do that. However, I think as I've gotten older, and Corey and I have talked about family planning and buying a house, and there's other things that have become more of a priority, or things that I think about being really important to me. Career, yes, being one of them, but motherhood also being one of them. So where I'm at in my career right now, I love, and I try not to put too much pressure on myself career-wise, because the right things that are meant for me will come to me, and I just am taking it day by day. And yes, I am very happy with where I'm at career-wise right now. I feel like I'm financially stable. I love my job. I think I'm really good at my job, and I love it, and I'm energized every day to sit at my desk. So that is all that I can ask for. So yes, I'm very happy in my career right now. Next question is, how did you get over the feeling of cringe when you first started sharing on social media? Let me tell you, this was something that I feel like, in full transparency, I had a little bit of, but I didn't have too much of it. And I think the reason why is, before I even started posting on social media, I had this epiphany one day where I had really reached a tipping point of, I kept holding myself back from posting on social media. And ultimately, I had this tipping point and this realization where I was scrolling on, I think it was TikTok or Instagram or something. And I just remember, literally, I just put my phone down, I looked over at Corey, and I go, if I can sit on my phone and absorb content for 2 hours uninterrupted and absorb content, why can't I put my own content out there into the world for other people to absorb? And I think too, that was like a big tipping point for me, where I think we just automatically think it's cringy to put your content out there because you're nervous of what your friends will say or your family will say. And I think I just didn't care. I was just excited to share my life online, and I just like grabbed the bull by the horns and went for it. I was really nervous in the beginning for the first year before I even decided to post, because I was nervous of other opinions. And then I realized, like, A, we all absorb content, so why can't people absorb mine? Why can't I share things I love online? And number two, I thought, people that love me and support me and want to see me succeed will in fact not think it's cringe. And I think that that was something that I learned when I started on social media. Was my best friend of 20 years. Like, she likes and comments on every single Instagram video. She's been my biggest supporter, aside from my husband and my parents, that have just literally backed me 110%. My first follower on my new page, the first person that is always like, oh my God, I'm watching your video, and like sends me a picture of her like watching my videos. That I could cry. Like, I just feel like I got over that cringe because I had people that were in my corner supporting me wholeheartedly, and I feel like they believed in me when I wasn't sure if we're always crying in a coffee chat, I feel like, but I just had people that believed in me behind me more than I believed in myself, and they just took the cringe right out of me because they told me that I could do it, and that if I believed in myself that I would be able to. And so I'm really honored that I have people in my life that pushed me and believed in me to take that cringe out of it. But I think, how did I get over the cringe was just, at the end of the day, if somebody watches me filming in public, they remember me for 10 seconds, and then 10 seconds later they're on to the next thing, and they forget about you, and I forget about them. There's people that stare at me when I'm filming in a Home Goods, and at the end of the day, I bet in 3 days they're gonna be looking on YouTube for what to buy at Home Goods this season. So like, they absorb the content. It's just, it's like a fleeting moment, and I just kind of let the fleeting moment pass. So realistically, that's how I got over the cringe. A little emotional, but I feel like it's always emotional in a coffee chat when I talk about my best friend, because I love her to pieces, and I love her so much it makes me cry. And that is what it is. Sometimes I'm a crier. Normally I'm not a crier, but when it comes to my best friend, I am a crier. Okay, so if the lighting changed and the angle changed, it is because my camera battery was literally blinking red, about to die, right as we were getting into the last question of the monthly coffee chat. So we are back, battery has changed. If the camera angle or lighting or anything changed, that's why. So let's get into the final question, which is, does your YouTube channel pay for your travel now that you have more followers / subscribers? So this is a little bit of a loaded question. The answer is yes and no. I'll start with the no, and then we can get a little bit more into the yes. No, because there are still things that like Corey and I are saving for to travel, right? We don't just automatically use every single YouTube dollar to be able to travel. So we are still saving and paying for our vacations and travel out of pocket. For example, our honeymoon is completely out of our own pocket. Not a dollar came from YouTube. That That is everything that we have been saving for the last 1.5 to 2 years. However, where the yes comes in is, yes, we are able to travel a little bit more frequently to Disney World because of all of you supporting my channel, watching my videos, you know, commenting on videos, sharing, being a follower on Instagram. Like, all of these things create opportunity for the creators that you love. And the way that you make money on YouTube, if you're not familiar, I'm happy to share. It is the ads that roll in between the videos. So for example, when you're watching a Disney vlog or a weekend in the life vlog and a Merit commercial comes up, or yeah, I don't even know, like a whatever commercial, like a medicine commercial comes up in the middle, any of those ads that are rolling in between when you click the skip or the next, that is where the creator is making money, because you're on the platform watching the content, watching the ad. So that is how I make money on social media. And I only make money on social media through YouTube, the podcast, which we will hopefully be bringing back soon, and Instagram. I have never made a physical dollar. Those are just like, that's not revenue generating whatsoever. So does the YouTube channel pay for us to be able to travel a little bit more? 100% in transparency, yes, it does allow us to travel a little bit more. And because of all of you, you have changed our lives in that way, in so many more ways than I could even describe. Without all of you watching the vlogs, the ads running through the middle of the vlogs, like, we would never be able to go back to Disney as frequently as we do. We would never get to be probably annual pass holders out of state. Like, you have all changed our lives in so many different ways. So yes, in theory, YouTube helps us be able to travel more, but it's not the only money that we use to travel with. We are still using our own money as well. And I just, like, I will never be able to say thank you enough for everything that you have done for me, my family, Corey. Like, you have truly all changed our lives in so many ways. When we used the cabana or the polar patio at Blizzard Beach, when we went with Megan and Tyler on this last Disney trip, it was $400 and it came from the YouTube account. Like, that's exactly where the money came from. And so I'm so fortunate and so grateful for all of you. So every video that you watch, know every single day you're changing my life. Like, every single video you watch, every comment you leave, you are in fact changing just this like little small town girl's life every single day. And I am so beyond grateful for every single one of you. So to make another short story long, yes, the money that I do make on YouTube subsidizes our travel, and it allows us to travel more, which means more vlogs for all of you. So again, thank you so much for just everything that you've done to change our life. It's been such a ride these last 4.5 years, and I cannot wait to continue to share every little ounce of our life online and just keep it real and chaotic and honest, and just give you all back everything that you've been able to give to me. So that was our monthly coffee chat for the month. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you've made it all the way to the end of this month's coffee chat, leave 3 yellow hearts. I'm really in my yellow era. Butter yellow, I feel like, is so cute right now. So leave 3 yellow hearts, and I love you guys so much. You've changed my life in so many ways. I'm so excited to get these monthly coffee chats back up and running. And if this was your first monthly coffee chat, let me know if you liked this kind of style, because they're here to stay, and I hope that you've enjoyed them. And I always try to keep it honest and fun, and like we're just 2 friends hanging out and chatting on FaceTime. So without further ado, that's the end of this month's coffee chat. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.